Bonjour, bonsoir, dear friends. I'm in the heart of Burgundy. I'm in the famous town of Nuits-Saint-Georges with one of my favorite men ever in the history of the wine world, Mr. Grégory Patriat.
How are you?
Isn't it exciting? We are together in this magical place, which is the temple, the cathedral of wine. Maybe we should have a toast first.
Santé.
Santé. So dear friends, we're drinking a Nuits-Saint-Georges Premier Cru. Fabulous wine.
Showing well at the moment. 2018 was our first vintage at the winery here, so it was, I would say, frightening for us because it was really the first time we were going inside this new place. So very exciting vintage 2018 year, and we harvested the 26th of August, which was an early vintage for Burgundy. But this is an interesting vintage because it combines really quantity and quality. Maybe like 2009 was the last vintage in Burgundy that combines both quantity and quality, and this is really rare in Burgundy to have the ripeness and good volumes as well.
So we combine both.
Yes.
So many people have told us that it seems to be like 1947. What do you think?
47 was maybe a little bit young. I was even not born, but 47, yes, in the history was another vintage similar to that. But that kind of vintage happened once or maybe twice a decade maximum. So we were really lucky to begin with such a great vintage in Nuits-Saint-Georges at the Ursuline.
So, which is very exciting, dear friends. We are tasting a Nuits-Saint-Georges Premier Cru, and the vineyard is really close to us. So, tell us about Nuits-Saint-Georges and why we should all drink Nuits-Saint-Georges.
Nuits-Saint-Georges is a magic place. It's the heart of the Côte de Nuit. So this is really maybe the most famous place for Pinot Noir with the Gevrey Chambertin in the Côte de Nuit. And this is a Premier Cru called Les Pruliers. Les Pruliers is exactly 2 minutes walk from the place where we are tasting now, so 200 meters away. And it's one of the most top 3, top 4 best Premier Cru from Nuits-Saint-Georges. So really a Nuits-Saint-Georges that combine really the finesse of Pinot Noir, but in the same time the power and the force you can find only in the Pinot Noir coming from Côte de Nuit.
And what is very exciting, dear friends, is the fact that at the beginning of the 20th century, it was known that none of the growers wanted to pay too much tax. And therefore, no Grand Cru were to be found in Nuits-Saint-Georges.
Yeah,
right?
It's one of the mysteries of Nuits-Saint-Georges, why Les Pruliers, like Les Saint-Georges, have not been classified as a Grand Cru. It's one of the mysteries, and some different myths have gone through this strange region, but it's maybe better for the prices that some Premier Cru could be considered like Grand Cru, but they are not.
So this is a great value. So you must all enjoy Premier Cru. So behind us, you have an amazing growth of a vine, a leaf. As you can see, the base is red for the essence of Mother Nature, the earth. The earth gets warmer, becomes red as you can see, and then we move up to the earth all the way to the sky. So this is the connectivity of the earth, the telluric energy, all the way to the cosmic energy. So now we're going to go in the cellar with the winemaker himself, 22 years making the great wines at the Boisset winery. This is why we have such great hair, isn't it? A lot of worry, but a lot of excitement, isn't it?
Absolutely, no. Yeah.
So Grégory is going to show us the miracle and the magic of the open top wood fermenters. So follow us, dear friends. We are now on top of the vat, and this is exciting because wood has very unique characteristics, as Grégory will explain shortly. But we want you to see how much of an oval shape the whole winery is based on. Oval as the egg, as the birth, as the best shape, as the golden ratio. Very exciting to be able to be here on top of the vat, open top, wood fermenter made from French oak. And this is why the wines are so magical. So Grégory, you're going to tell us why this is so special to be able to vinify wine with open-top wood fermenters.
So these tanks are really beautiful. We use them since 2002. As you can see, even if they are 20 years old, they are still very, very nice, and they look like really all new. The advantage of wood is really, the first one is you have a beautiful temperature inertia compared to stainless steel tank, which is very conductive. With wood, the temperature are much more easy to control for the winemaker. So I would say they are a kind of ecological, because when you freeze the juice, temperature is always very stable, and at the end of the fermentation process, it preserves very much better than stainless steel the temperature. So it's really much more natural process. You know, here we are using only natural yeast. We do not inoculate with yeast. So it's very important to have a fermentation with a beautiful and easy control of temperature. So it's really interesting with this wood here. And as you can see inside, we control the temperature with this kind of radiator that is here. It goes from 12 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius maximum. And that's if you have the possibility to control, to really compare the same wine vinified in a wood and the same wine vinified in tank, you have two different and opposite wine. There's an extra dimension, I would say, with wood, and if you have the possibility to vinify with wood, you never go back to stainless steel tank, in my opinion.